Hey yo, what's going on everybody? It's Tylarius aka Ty Killington. Yeah, man. Alright, in this video, we're going to be going over the contract DLC. I'm going to be giving you guys my final review of this DLC and discuss whether or not it was a hit or miss, whether or not it was worth it, and the pros and cons of the DLC. Alright, now it's not technically over, there's still just a few things left from this DLC with the drip fed content. However, for the most part, this DLC is finished and complete. There's a few things left. There's a couple of possibilities as well, and we'll discuss that in this video. Okay, so and I'm sure I will miss a few things on the pros side and on the cons side of the DLC. Please feel free to comment down below. You know, some of the pros and cons you think that this DLC had, and whether or not you think it was worth it, or whether or not you think this DLC was a hit or miss. All right. So before we go any further, though, make sure you guys are subscribed, turn on notifications, and if you like the video, definitely drop a like and give it a thumbs up, okay? Now, when the DLC first dropped, there was an issue. You couldn't do any of the VIP work or security contracts in an invite or solo lobby. Rockstar actually changed that. They released a patch to where you could do all of this in a invite only or a solo lobby without any kind of glitches or anything like that. So that was really good. I think that was extremely important. So I have to give Rockstar credit where credit's due. They adjusted that and changed that to make it much more solo friendly, which they really needed because this would have been almost impossible to do in a public lobby with everybody trying to grief and kill everybody in there. So that was, I think, a good thing. That was a major thing to make this DLC, in my opinion, successful and what it was. Okay. So on Twitter, I was like, you guys aren't going to like what I have to say about this. But fortunately, they did change it up, and that was good. So I do appreciate that. Let's start with the pros of the DLC, what I think Rockstar did good. For years, people have been wanting to get a story mode DLC for GTA 5, a single player campaign DLC. This is basically a hybrid. This is the closest thing that people are probably going to get to a single player DLC with GTA 5, and it's in GTA 5 Online, and I'll talk more about that. But the contract DLC is practically a story mode DLC for online. It was a great kind of hybrid. Rockstar was able to blend those two concepts, and it was very fluid. All right, let's talk about something that was very kind of like a groundbreaking with this DLC. The Amani Tech for several of the vehicles. That was a big deal. The Amani Tech enabled your vehicles to basically be a counter to Mark II griefers because it added homing rocket jammers to the vehicles, or you could add a RC feature to the vehicles where you could remote control your cars and they had machine guns on them, and you could be halfway across the map remotely driving your vehicles and kind of trolling people or griefing them yourself, I guess. But the Amani Tech enabling you to have a homing rocket jammer on your vehicle made a big deal. It made a big difference because that again dissuaded people with jets or mainly the Mark II from locking onto your vehicle in free mode. So that was kind of a really cool addition with the tech. The Dr. Dre dialogue and the VIP edition I thought was great. Dre is very influential in not only pop culture but the hip hop world, right? Some people, hip hop is just not their thing. I get that, but GTA kind of has all elements. They have that hip hop element. They have the rock and roll element. They even have the country and in some ways gospel element, right? Kiflam. But yeah, so I thought they did a really good job blending that in there. And I'm not sure people understand the significance. Dr. Dre was part of the up and coming modernization of the hip hop culture and the whole scene. So it's the younger kids don't really appreciate what Dre was able to do, but he dropped 6 tracks exclusive for GTA Online. That is insane. That's huge, and he hadn't dropped any music for more than half a decade. So that was a big deal, and the songs are really good. You got Snoop on there, you got Eminem. You got Dre, you got Anderson Paak, you got a lot of big names. Busta Rhymes, all these guys in there. So really cool. There was the addition of new weapons into the game: the compact EMP launcher, the SCAR, and the stun gun. We'll talk more about those a little bit later. But always having something new in the terms of the weapons is a good thing as well. All right. The addition of new trophies and the new challenges, the 200 security contracts and things like that. That getting the cool little trophies in your office, the construction hat, the Meriwether hat. That was really cool, and they were attainable. They were, you could still get them, but they still had a decent challenge to them, which I appreciate that. The payphone hits, which you guys just saw in the video, great method to make money in this game. Extremely good way to make money, and they're a lot of fun. They're very easy, great payout, and when they go double, it's even better, obviously. So really cool to have the payphone hits involved. This DLC brought changes to passive income as well. It increased the amount you can hold in your arcade safe, your nightclub safe, and your agency can also hold a safe, which has a lot of money as well. So just by collecting your safe money in this game, if you keep it up with the nightclub business, I mean, you can make almost $1 million just off of that. It takes a bit of time to get it built up, but it does sit there. You do have that passive income, which is very good. They also decreased your basically your daily credits that you have to pay, your daily charges and fees that you have to pay for the rent of all the businesses that you own. So that was really cool. I appreciated that. The possibility of new VIP contracts in the future are also there. I've talked with some people in the that know a little bit more about some of these things in the game, and there is the ability for them to add more VIPs and additional contracts to the contract DLC. So maybe we get like a part two. I think would be really cool. And a lot of people have speculated, will we get Snoop Dogg? Will we get, other people that will be part of the whole VIP process with, Franklin and Lamar? That would be epic. That would be really cool. But that possibility does, it is there. The short trip missions are really the single player DLC online hybrid. That's really the part of it right there that shined. The short trip missions are amazing. They're so good. The dialogue is just fantastic. Lamar really did shine in this, and it was hilarious. So I really do appreciate that. The short trip missions are just, it's a breath of fresh air. It really is. And then last but not least for the pros, you got Chop. Chop is back in the game. You can pet Chop. You get a trophy for it, which is epic. And that's just so cool to have him, and it's just, nice to see him kind of just being around in the agency. That's really cool. And I really do appreciate that being part of the DLC. All right. Now let's talk about some of the cons of this DLC. Of course, the pay isn't as good as Cayo Perico. I've said this since Cayo Perico first came out. It's going to ruin all other businesses in terms of the pay, and nobody's going to want to really give anything else a chance because Cayo is going to pay out the best, and it's pretty easy to do solo. It's good and bad, I guess. There's really no reward for adding additional players to your VIP contracts or really anything else. So what I mean by that is if you add players to help you do the VIP contracts, they don't get paid hardly anything. It doesn't count towards their progression, and you don't get a bonus for it. With some of the other businesses, when you add players, you get increased amount of money. Another area I felt that they kind of fell short with this DLC is they didn't have Amani Tech for one of the two motorcycles that were brought into the game. I think they kind of missed a big opportunity right there. It would have been nice to have Amani Tech for one of the motorcycles, which is, it's a hit or miss on that, but I would have liked that. The new weapons, the performance really wasn't that great. The new assault rifle was decent, but it's not really going to take place of anything else. The compact EMP launcher was a big dud. Rockstar missed a pretty big opportunity with that right there, being another weapon to counter certain vehicles, the Mark II specifically, but kind of fell short on that. The stun gun, it was okay. I wish it was just a little bit better or more optimized for online. It would have been fun to kind of have some good times with that. And then, a big deal for a lot of people were the loading times. Getting in and out of the agency, it did kind of, you sat on a black screen for a while, which is just showing the age of this, of the coding of this game. It's an 8-year-old game. We're on 3rd gen now. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful game. We all love, most of us love GTA Online, but it is absolutely every DLC that drops. It's definitely pushing this coding to the absolute limit. So hopefully with the expanded enhanced, we'll see something else with that. But we'll just have to, we'll have to wait. One last thing that kind of bugged me was I wish you were able to do the short trip missions solo. You could either pick whether to be Franklin or Lamar, but instead you were forced to do them with a friend, and you also had to have someone to kind of enter into the the actual studio, which is kind of a weird thing. But I wish you were able to do those solo and just pick who you wanted to be. Having one other person isn't the hardest thing to do, but it is still a hindrance. It's still a limitation for some people who are just strictly solo players. But that's really about it, man. So overall, I think that this DLC, the contract DLC, I think it was a hit. I think it was good. I really do appreciate it. I thought it brought a lot of good things into the game. Way more, good than bad. A lot more pros than cons. So I think overall it deserves a passing grade. It does deserve a passing score. Out of 100, I score the contract DLC an 82, which is one of the higher rated DLCs that I have overall for my score. So I think it was definitely. I'm very critical on DLCs, so nothing. It's very hard to get up into the 90s for me. But that's kind of where I have it. I think it's a good DLC. I think it was definitely worth it, and I think it was something that people should invest in and get involved in and enjoy strictly for the dialogue, for the ability to kind of bring back some of the characters. I like how they aged them. We are now current date with this DLC. The contract DLC brought us to the current kind of like time and date for the GTA 5 online world. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, overall, I think it was good. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What were your pros? What were your cons? Where do you think they did good? Where do you think that they could have, expanded it and did better with? All right. Thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for the Ills and Reels content in the game. Smash that like button. We'll see you in the next one, all right? Peace out. Yeah.